This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Yeah, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason, what's going on? What do you have for us on tap tonight?
Well, it's like the intake of comics has dried up for a bit, but it's like I've got like some ideas of what to do. It's like and also just stuff from what I've been reading on Marvel Unlimited because my God, it's like I know I keep shilling for that, like on the blog and all, but I really do enjoy that, like Marvel's like pay to read service just because hey, it's like, yeah, it may have like a 3 month delay on terms of like what they release, but at the same time, it's like you get everything that they published and all, especially, and it's really great when it comes to like stuff that I'm like you know kind of on the fence about. But hey, if I can read this like on their on Marvel Unlimited, then hey, it's fine. I'm basically reading this for free or for a substantially reduced cover price. After the $70 annual like service fee.
Woo!
Which, yes, yeah, which is how we're talking about Amazing Spider-Man Beyond tonight, because like regular readers will know that I mentioned Nick Spencer's like Amazing Spider-Man is like as the worst thing I read last year, because I not only did I give up reading it in terms of in trade paperback form, but I also sold all my copies and of the trade paperbacks I had read so far because shelf space is limited in my library and all, really. And it's like, and so I miss, but at the same time, that I just kind of had this morbid curiosity about how this is all going to turn out, and all the spoilers that I had been reading prior to the issues that had been published on Marvel Unlimited basically go, well, what the hell is going on here? This is just like him, just like this is Spencer, just kind of like rewriting continuity just to like get rid of like some of the most like egregious offenses. It's like that fans have had. It's like like stuff like like sins, like sins past, where you just heard about how Norman Osborn like had sex with like Gwen Stacy. It's like, and gave birth to like some couple of spider kids who just had were like were pissed at Peter, and come back to like to get him for all the stuff that he had from not being a proper uh spider father, I guess. Oh man, it's like it was awful. But it's like just but as much as I liked like Spencer's like earlier stuff, his later stuff just really just ran into the ground. So it was not funny, it was not dramatically interesting. And so I just figured, hey, you know what, I can just read this for free on Marvel Unlimited and make my own decision. And what my decision was that it was crap. So, but hey, it's like I didn't actually spend any money towards this. After like after the stuff that came up to issue 50. So like that's how things go right there. But in terms of like like what Marvel was going to do after Spencer left, well, they decided to do something interesting. They decided to get a whole bunch of like talented writers and just have them decide what's going to happen to Peter Parker after this. It's like, and well, the answer is, well, we're going to bring back Ben Reilly. It's like, and if you hear that and think, oh my God, you're bringing back the Amazing Spider clone? No, because the last time we heard of Ben Reilly, it's like he had been masterminding the clone conspiracy from Dan Slott's run, and also been doing his own like Spider-Man stuff, like courtesy of Peter David's Scarlet Spider series. I didn't read that because like after the clone conspiracy, I had my fill of Ben Reilly stories. Well, turns out that it's like the Beyond board, which is made up of like group of writers consisting of Zeb Wells, Kelly Thompson, Saladin Ahmed, Cody Ziegler, Jed McKay, and Peter and Patrick Gleason. It's like they had their own idea about what was going to happen for Ben Reilly, because basically Riley is now hooked up with the Beyond Corporation. They're one of Marvel's made like corporations who they're I mean, they're kind of they're kind of evil, but not really well known because I think that unless you're familiar with the Next Wave, Warren Ellis and Stuart Immonen's excellent superhero series, which is basically made up of laughing with the Marvel universe instead of laughing at the Marvel universe. Well, this the Beyond Corporation, they're still around, and they basically have realized that we want to invest in a Spider-Man in order to be a hero for us. And the Spider-Man they picked to be the hero for them is Ben Reilly, and they've also got his ex-girlfriend Janine out of prison to it's like it'll help incentivize him to that end. But also they were giving him all sorts of Amazing Spider-Man backups, in terms of like spider spinnerets where you can just he can just use this tech to just capture it's bad guys, with the specific tech. It's and also just impact resistant spider costumes where he can just take a hit and not feel it. Just he's basically like a Spider-Man with the money to it's in order to make his his agenda successful. And the thing, then why is he able to do this though? No, because Otto Octavius, registered the trademark for Spider-Man when he was doing his Parker Corporation back in the whole Superior Spider-Man days. So basically, the series, this storyline is observant of past Spider continuity, and it starts off simply enough with with Peter just coming into conflict with with Ben Reilly, just finding out that hey, oh wait, I don't actually Peter doesn't actually own the rights to Spider-Man. Oh, now Ben Reilly does. So how's he gonna do manage this? But before they can get too deep into this conflict, well, there's they find out that the UFOs, supervillains who are normally affiliated with the Incredible Hulk, well, they're attacking you know, like Peter's alma mater, like Empire University. It's and they're checking as they're doing their thing. Um, Peter winds up getting a severe case of radiation poisoning from the UFOs, and also winds up having to go to the hospital as a result. But basically, this is hospital in he's hospitalized in really bad storytelling terms in the sense that while he's being hospitalized, um, you know Ben is asking for permission to be Spider-Man, and Peter gives him this, and but he does this knowing that oh my God, it's I can't feel my body, I'm going to die any second now. So that's where we are with the start of Beyond. And on one hand, it's a decently effective start. It's you got Peter forcibly at least passing the mantle to like to Ben Reilly. But at the same time, it's Ben, really wants to do good. He's not a bad guy. It's he's just like the superior spider clone. And it's anyone who's been reading comics as long as I have, you hear oh my God, it's Ben Reilly, the superior spider clone. It's just gonna go, oh no, this is gonna be terrible. Because it's any attempt to replace Peter as Spider-Man is just you know it's just kind of going to end in failure. I mean, Peter is kind of the one true Spider-Man for a lot of readers such as me, for a specific generation. And much as I like Miles Morales, and he also factors into the story as well. It's Peter's always going to be that that guy for me, that Spider-Man. So when you've got a storyline that this is set on establishing Ben Reilly as the new Spider-Man, so when he's backed by a corporation of dubious morality, well, where are we going to go with this? Well, basically, you've got several different writers, doing this kind of thing, and they're of generally very varying quality. I mean, some of them I will definitely go to Matt for. Zeb Wells, I mean, it's like he's done like great work like over the years on Spider-Man and especially on Hellions. I mean, I did this podcast on Hellions. Go check it out. He's fantastic. And Kelly Thompson, who did some great work with getting me to care about the Rogan Gambit relationship. Again, yeah, it's like seriously, no, she's great about that. I would have loved to see more of her doing writing more about Rogue and Gambit together as a domestic mutant couple. Saladin Ahmed, he's also like doing great work on it's like on Miles Morales' like ongoing series. Cody Ziegler and Jed McKay are less known to me. I mean, I think that they do decent work here, but also it's like worth noting that they're also like some of the primary like script writers on it's like on the new She-Hulk series, which hey, first episode came out this week. I like I like the first episode, even though it's like it's more just like self-aware, just getting everything started, and I'm really waiting to see how the whole like superhero law aspect of the series of the character functions into the series. But it's like what they do here is like reasonably solid. I do I will admit that I liked McKay's work. It's like it's like doing the Avengers Murder House issue, where the Daughters of the Dragon, like Misty Knight and Colleen Wing, have to fight their way through like slasher versions of the Avengers, and also the fact that McKay also like acknowledges gets the one issue that fully acknowledges Beyond's links to Next Wave, where like like we've got Monica Rambeau and Aaron Machine Man Stack. It's like teaming up to take down Beyond's ambitions there. But like this is stuff that's at the very beginning of the series and at the very end. So there's definitely like good stuff strewn throughout this series. But this is a series that's mainly about like orchestrating a epic level tragedy for Ben Reilly, because he's a guy who really wants to do good, like as a Spider-Man, because he's basically Peter Parker's memories, just like if they had just like lived a little differently. But the problem here is that like Beyond is trying to like make him into like a perfunctory Spider-Man, someone who like a Spider-Man who was like he was willing to be like a fairly generic hero who's just like going to go and fight the bad guys without question, because Beyond's agenda like isn't just like hey, we're gonna go out and have a Spider-Man who fights crime. We're gonna have a Spider-Man that fights the crime that we generate, because yeah, I mean Beyond is really no better than Roxxon. It's like they're as we find out through the missions of their head for the story, Maxine Danger. It's like it's like they're like Beyond's you know like ambitions are to just, are to fight super crime, but it's also like super crime that they are able to like have a control as well, like they are like the stuff that they're able to generate their own like super villains to fight as well, but at the same time they also want to like make sure that Ben Reilly is thoroughly in their pocket. So what does it mean when you've got like, oh, Ben Reilly is like in your pocket, and also just fighting for you? Well, you're also trying means they're also trying to manipulate his memories as well, and that's where the tragedy comes in, because and because as Ben it's like wants to do the right thing in terms of just like beating up bad guys, and also just like helping out like guys like Miles Morales, because he gets his own crossover issue here. And it's something that hey, if you're reading Miles Morales Spider-Man like I am, it's like there's definitely like a crossover, like couple of crossover issues. Well, one, like it's the first one by Solid D in the Med, not the second one that he wrote and that Jorge Fornes illustrated, which is more of a straight horror issue. basically it's kind of like a like him teaming up with Ben Reilly to fight off a one-off villain. And it's like and it's an issue where where Miles basically acknowledges, hey, Ben Reilly, you're a good guy right there. And on one hand, it's you could say that oh, wait, Miles is acknowledging Ben Reilly as like a hero. Oh no, that's not good because Miles is like he's the real good deal. Like he's like the real Spider-Man. Like fighting for fighting for Queens and all. So, but at the same time, it's like I think this kind of works because it also it solidifies the fact that that Ben Reilly is trying to do the right thing by his like by his memories, by his origins. It's like and it also doesn't work because man, it's like his because Beyond is continually messing with his memories. It's like the storyline basically is all meant to set up the tragedy of Riley, someone who wants to do the right thing, someone who is like determined to do the right thing, driven to do the right thing by his memories, but he's ultimately he only can't do it because he's he's got it's like Beyond is like is still trying to like manipulate things to to their own end. And at the same time, though, like Peter, he's recovering from this, awful bout of radiation poisoning. And there are some fun bits right there, such as like Doctor Octopus, teaming up with his Aunt May to like in order to help him, but also finding out that oh my God, it's like it's like Beyond has basically like perverted all of the stuff that he did during Parker Industries in order to like further their own agenda right there, and it also feels into Ben like Ben's tragedy right there because when Ben is like like fighting against Otto at a specific story point, well, it's like Otto basically says like, hey, it's like this is what they've actually done to you. It's like why don't you decide what's what's worth fighting for after this, and it all kind of you know like culminates in a like it's like in a climax where like Beyond's head, Maxine Danger, it's like who for a lot of the storyline has been like a villain who just like just does what she wants. She's basically succeeding because the storyline demands she succeeds, except for the bit where Monica Rambeau and Aaron Stack, like Thrasher, like villain producing operation, and like Maxine's just like super pissed about that, and I loved that. Not just because like it gave like it showed that she was struggling, but also because like it gave the like the next wave team like or its remnants like it's win right there. But it's like but it also like but also like when but at the same time like Maxine was also just like illustrating to like to Ben like oh my gosh like here's what you need to do, you need to get Peter's memories in order to make yourself whole. And Ben's like, okay, I can do that. It's like, and then when he finally confronts Peter's like, okay, Peter's kind of like, I've always wanted to help you. It's like, and and Ben's like, I'm not asking this time. It's like there's like a certain amount of tragedy right there, and it ultimately results in like in Ben being it's like in a villain at the end. Like he's like now he's not the Scarlet Spider, he's not Spider-Man, he is now Chasm, basically a Spider-Man with a giant gap in where his morality used to be. And okay, I'm interested in seeing where this goes because out of all the writers who worked on the storyline, I mean, I think all the like McKay, Ahmed, Thompson, Ziegler, um, they all did solid work. But I think that Wells, was like did like the most solid work in terms of balancing. It's like Spider-Man's like more like moral agenda. His just his like his the whole great power with great power comes great responsibility shtick. With just like him just trying, you know, just trying to like, like make that work in a general more moralistic sense. And it's also telling in the sense that he got he wrote the beginning and the ending storylines, and he's also writing the current Amazing Spider-Man like series as well, because I think that it's like he's like Wells does like Wells understands Spider-Man. It's like, and I think that I don't think that a lot of the writers like who worked on Beyond the Beyond arc were bad. No, absolutely not. I think they're all really solid, and any feelings they have is just them doing like just like basic standard issue Spider-Man stories. It's like rather than just on stuff that really advances like the character storyline. So so on one hand, it's like so overall, I think that Beyond, like, it's a solid storyline, but it's also just kind of like you know, when Spence went to events like, okay, we need to get Spider-Man from point A to point B, and I think that they do that pretty well. I don't think that it's an essential must-read storyline, but it's entertaining. It offers like it has. I think that like the creators like were aware of what they need to do in order to get the characters from point A to point B, and I think they worked that out pretty well. Wells more than other creators, and also compared like with the art, it's like it's really solid. Like it never had bad art like from any of these like mini arcs. Like, it had like like Patrick Gleason. It's like at the start, it's like you had Michael Dowling who did solid work. You had man, it's like who else am I remembering here? Oh, Jorge Fornes had some had some solid work here. It's like, and also wait, who am I? Other artists who did great work here. Oh, and of course Mark Bagley, because he you can always kind of Mark Bagley do like solid spider work here. So I think that like Beyond is like a solid like in, intermedium arc, in the sense that like, hey, we had a lot of time to kill in order to get these characters from point A to point B. And also it's like I also had this thing feeling that this was meant to be like kind of maybe an audition of sorts, in order to like determine who was going to be the main Spider Rider for the foreseeable future. And while I think that all the writers involved did solid work, I'm also kind of glad that Wells is getting like the shot at delivering like Peter's adventures for as the main driver. He's being the main driver of Peter's adventures for the foreseeable future, because he's done like great work in the past and does good work here. And the first issue that I've seen on Marvel Unlimited, with him, working with John Romita Jr., it manages to strike a nice balance between Peter, having like really like awful luck, and also just him like delivering like some solid comedy as well. So at the same time, it's like I know that like Beyond is collected in several paperback volumes, as well as it's getting collected in one like like one big hardcover as well. So I guess it's like if you're interested in reading this, I would recommend the hardcover, because hey, like reading all this like in one go, it's pretty solid. It's a solid Spider-Man arc. I wouldn't say it's like a great Spider-Man story, but it's one that like I think does a good job of like illustrating the characters like strengths, making a good it's like a good argument for like Ben Reilly's strengths as well. So I check. I think I'd recommend you check it out. But at the same time, it's like I can't say it's like it's a must read, really.
How about for the hardcore Spider-Man fan?
Oh, if you're a hardcore Spider-Man fan, you've already read this. But
Indeed, indeed. Oh, cool. That sounds like a pretty a good review on that. So
I got to read it for free via Marvel Unlimited. So like that definition of free may vary for our listeners. So
yeah,
there you go.
yeah, and your value may be on what you consume through it, and what you get to pick out some of the better stories. But then it's like, okay, some of the stories kind of fall flat. Oh well, that's all part of the cost. I mean, the other alternative is you buy the thing, and there it is. So that sounds pretty good. Anyway, so do you know what you're going to be talking about next time?
Well, like earlier this week, I watched through the it's like the Girl from the Other Side OVAs with my buddy Steve, and while he will likely not be joining us for this, it's like I think it's probably time for me to like actually talk about this series because I was waiting to talk about the series when when we were going to get the final volume 12 with all the extraneous additional stories associated with it, but I don't know what that's going to happen anytime in the near future. So we'll talk about that likely. It's like if not, it may be a surprise. So there you go.
All right, and we'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Glick.
All right, later, everyone.